what you think.
What is up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be talking about former Marquette big man Henry Ellenson and why he failed to make it in the NBA. If you love college basketball, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and if you like these type of videos, be sure to check out my playlist in the description below. Now let's get started with today's video. Before Henry Ellenson was an NBA player, he was a child in the small town of Rice Lake, Wisconsin. As a kid, he grew up 6 blocks from the local rec center, and he would spend his entire days playing there until the building closed. As a 5th grader, he knew he was going to be big time. His team was down 17 at halftime in a local city tournament game, and he decided to take over. He scored 54 of his team's 57 points, and they won by 10. Ellenson dedicated his childhood to becoming a good basketball player, and thankfully he was blessed with the intangibles to make it happen. By the time he was in high school, he had become one of the best players in the state. Before his senior year, he was also one of the best players in the country. As he was on the under 17 FIBA team. He also had interest from schools all over the country. He was now a 5-star recruit, and his final 3 schools were Michigan State, Marquette, and Kentucky. In the end, he did what his brothers did and committed to Marquette. As a recruit, he was a 5-star recruit, a McDonald's All-American, and the number 9 overall player in the class of 2015. A small-town kid was now going to be a star in a big city. A year prior, Marquette had hired Duke assistant Steve Wojciechowski to become their next coach, and he had really struck gold on the recruiting trail. Besides Ellenson, the Eagles signed 4 4-star recruits in Hanaf Cheatham, Matt Helt, and Tracy Carter, plus one of the best transfers in the country in Andrew Rousey. Of course, expectations were high for Marquette in 2015, as they also returned Dwayne Wilson, Luke Fisher, and Juwan Johnson, and they were expected to be a tournament team. They lost 2 of their first 3 games to Belmont and Iowa before getting hot and beating LSU, Arizona State, and Wisconsin to finish to a 10-2 non-conference record. For Henry, he scored in double figures in 11 of his first 12 games, while also becoming the team's best player. The Golden Eagles lost 5 of their first 7 Big East games, but the season wasn't lost. They won 7 of their next 10 games, but it wasn't going to be enough to solidify a spot in the tournament. After a loss to number 1 Villanova, they were in panic mode as they were below 500 in the Big East, and they would need a miracle. By this time, Ellenson's draft stock was skyrocketing. He had scored in double figures in every single Big East game, and he was single-handedly carrying his team to the postseason. The Eagles were 19-12 going into the Big East tournament, and after a win over St. John's, they had a real chance to steal themselves a bid. Sadly, they got blown out by number 5 Xavier, and their hopes for an NCAA bid effectively went out the window. In his final game, he was limited as he was in foul trouble for most of the game and only had 14 points. Marquette finished the season 20-13, and not only didn't receive an NCAA tournament bid, but they weren't invited to participate in any sort of postseason tournament. Although it was a tough season, Ellenson was dominant and one of the best players in the country. He averaged 17 points, 9.7 rebounds, and 1.5 blocks while shooting 44% from the field and 29% from the 3-point line. At the conclusion of the season, Henry was named to the All-Big East first team and was awarded the Big East Newcomer of the Year. After some thought, Henry Ellenson decided to declare for the 2016 draft and sign with an agent. Coming into college, he was seen as a big man with the smoothness of a wing and shooting skill of a guard, and he was projected to be one of the first picks in the 2016 NBA draft. After his freshman season, scouts noticed the same flaws he had always had. He was not very explosive, and his athleticism was well below the NBA standard. Despite that, he was regarded as a lottery pick for the draft, and his comparison was Josh McRoberts. On draft night, Ellenson was taken with the 18th pick by the Detroit Pistons, and he was expected to be the missing piece at the 4 position. In his rookie year, Ellenson only appeared in 19 games while playing 7 minutes and averaging 3 points a game. His best game came against the Houston Rockets, where he dropped 15 points in 26 minutes of play. Going into his second season, he was expected to play a larger role and hopefully get some more minutes. Things didn't change much in the 38 games he played, as he still got limited minutes, and his best game was a 17-point performance against the Memphis Grizzlies. One thing I noticed is that every time he got in double-digit minutes, he seemingly scored in double figures or got really close. I also noticed he shot 33% from the 3-point line, which is not too bad for a big man in the NBA. On the year, he averaged 4 points and 2 rebounds while shooting 36% from the field. Going into his next season, he only played 2 games before he was traded to the New York Knicks, where he only appeared in 17 games. With the Knicks, he got a career-high 14 minutes a night and averaged 6 points a game while shooting 44% from 3. After the 18th season, he signed with the Brooklyn Nets and has only played 4 games so far. Overall, I really used to think Ellenson was a bust, and I guess he is, but I don't think he ever really got a real chance to show what he could do with real minutes. It must have been something off the court, because looking at his numbers, he seemed to be a good player on the court. If you're a Pistons fan, please explain to me what happened in the comment section below. All I know is that Henry is a very happy person at this point, and his goal is to build a new rec center in the back of his hometown. I didn't watch much Marquette basketball back in the day, but Henry seems like he was a really good guy, and he was really good in his 1 year as an Eagle, so I hope the best for him moving forward. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit that like button and check out all my videos just like this in the description below and on the screen. I hope to see you guys soon, but until then, peace.